Welcome to Love Lies Chronicles.
I came home late that night. It had been a long day at work, one of those exhausting, soul-draining marathons that left me craving nothing but a warm meal and a moment of peace. But peace wasn't waiting for me. Instead, I found my wife sitting at the dining table, a candle flickering between us. She had a glass of wine in her hand, her nails painted that soft, neutral shade she loved, always polished, always perfect. She was smiling. A sweet, knowing smile. "Hey," I said, dropping my keys on the counter. I hesitated. "What's the occasion?" She tilted her head, watching me like I was some delicate puzzle she was about to dismantle. "Nothing big," she murmured. "I just thought we should talk." I sighed and pulled out a chair. "All right. What's up?" She set her glass down and reached across the table, taking my hand in hers. A soft squeeze. Her skin was warm. Familiar. "I love you," she said gently. And then, just like that, in the same breath, with the same tenderness in her voice, she cut me open. "But I need a lover." I didn't react at first. I just sat there, staring at her. Maybe I had misheard. Maybe I was too tired to process whatever game she was playing. What? She exhaled, as if she had just admitted to something as mundane as needing a new dress or changing the wallpaper. "I still love you," she repeated, as if that part mattered. "But I need something more." She let the words settle between us, watching my face like a scientist waiting for a test subject's reaction. My mouth was dry, my pulse slow and deliberate, like my body hadn't caught up to the betrayal yet. "You need a lover," I echoed. "Yes," she said, nodding. "I don't want to leave you, but I need this. And I want to be honest with you about it." I didn't want to sneak around. She lifted her chin, almost proud of herself. Honest. Like this was some act of kindness. Like she was the noble one for telling me before I caught her between another man's sheets. A dull throb started at the base of my skull. I swallowed it down, forcing my voice to stay calm. "So let me get this straight," I said, keeping my tone even. "You love me. You don't want a divorce. You just want permission." Her fingers tightened around mine. Not permission. Just understanding. Understanding. She wanted me to sit here, in my own home, at my own table, and accept the fact that I was no longer enough for her. That she had already made this decision, and now she was just asking for my blessing to desecrate what we had built. I could have yelled. I could have flipped the table over, shattered the wine glass against the wall, and let the rage take over. But I didn't. Instead, I let go of her hand. Slowly. Deliberately. And then, I smiled. A small, quiet thing. A twitch of the lips. I saw the confusion in her eyes, the way she expected anger and got something else instead. She didn't understand what she had just done. Not yet. But she would. Oh, she would. I leaned back in my chair and folded my hands in my lap. "You know," I murmured, "I really appreciate your honesty." Relief flashed across her face. She thought I was going to accept it. That I was going to nod, be the understanding husband, let her have her fun while I kept the foundation of her world intact. "Good," she whispered. "I knew you'd." "I'm going to bed," I interrupted, standing up. She blinked. "Wait. What?" "That's it." I nodded. "Yeah, that's it." I turned my back on her, my steps measured, steady. I didn't look back. Didn't let her see the storm forming behind my eyes. Let her think I was letting it go. Because what she didn't realize, what she wouldn't realize until it was far, far too late, was that the moment those words left her lips, the life she had been so comfortable in was already gone. She just didn't know it yet. But she would. Oh, she would. And I would be the one to show her. I woke up before she did. It wasn't out of habit. I just didn't sleep. Not really. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of what she had said settle into my bones. "I love you, but I need a lover." The words played in my head over and over, and yet, the rage I expected never came. No, what I felt was colder. Sharper. More precise. It was clarity. She thought she had the upper hand. That by being honest, she had somehow softened the blow. That I would respect her transparency and continue carrying her life on my shoulders while she played the loving wife by day and a whore by night. She thought I'd accept it. She thought I'd stay. She thought she was untouchable. That morning, I decided to let her keep thinking that. At least for now. She was still asleep when I got out of bed, her hair sprawled across the pillow, breathing slow and steady like someone with no cares in the world. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time in years, I saw her for what she was. Not my partner. Not my wife. Just a parasite. Living off of me. Feeding off of my work, my sacrifices, my commitment. She had taken everything I provided, the house, the security, the endless love and devotion, and she had decided it wasn't enough. So I made a decision of my own. If I was nothing more than a provider to her, then I would remove what I provided. Brick by brick, I would tear down the castle she lived in. The first step was small, subtle. I started by adjusting access to our accounts. Not all at once. No, that would have been too obvious. Instead, I did it slowly, strategically. The joint credit card? Lowered the limit. The household expenses? Moved them under my personal control. The savings account? Locked away. She wouldn't notice. Not right away. Not until she swiped her card one day and found that the endless flow of money wasn't so endless anymore. I went about my morning as usual, drinking coffee at the kitchen table when she finally emerged from the bedroom. She smiled sleepily, completely oblivious. "Morning," she murmured, reaching for a mug. I watched her, taking in the way she moved so effortlessly through my home. The way she enjoyed the life I had built without a single thought as to what it cost. "Morning," I replied, sipping my coffee. She didn't notice the shift in me. Not yet. Over the next few days, I began withdrawing in ways she couldn't quite put her finger on. She'd reach for my hand while we were out shopping. I'd let my fingers go limp in hers. She'd laugh at something and glance at me for validation. I'd only give a hollow, polite chuckle. She'd complain about some minor inconvenience in her day. I wouldn't offer solutions like I used to. Instead, I'd nod and say, "That's too bad." Each time, I could see the confusion in her eyes. The way her smile didn't quite reach as far. She felt it. The distance. The void. She just didn't know where it was coming from. That was the beauty of it. I wanted her to question it. To start doubting. To feel uneasy in the comfort she had taken for granted. Because I wasn't leaving her. Not yet. No, I wanted to watch. I wanted to see her realize what was happening. I wanted her to feel the cold creeping in. It took 4 days before the first sign of desperation appeared. I was sitting at my desk, finishing up work, when she walked in, dressed in something dangerously familiar. The silk robe. The perfume I used to love. A softness in her voice that I hadn't heard in months. I knew what this was. She was testing something. Trying to see if she still had me. I leaned back in my chair, eyeing her carefully. "What's up?" I asked, my voice neutral. She hesitated, just for a fraction of a second. Then she smiled, stepping closer, resting a hand on my shoulder. "I feel like we've been a little distant lately," she said. "You've been different." I smiled. "Have I?" Her eyes narrowed slightly, but she kept her tone sweet. "I don't want us to lose our connection, you know? I love you." I tilted my head. "But you need a lover, right?" Her smile faltered. For the first time, I saw it. The tiniest flicker of doubt. She hadn't expected me to throw her words back at her. She tried to laugh it off, shaking her head. "That's not what I owe." But I was already standing up, already moving past her, as if the conversation was nothing more than a passing thought. "We should get some sleep," I said simply. And then, I walked away. I didn't look back. And for the first time, she was the one left standing alone. That night, I heard her shifting in bed. Restless. Uneasy. Good. Let her feel it. Let her wonder if she had miscalculated. Because this wasn't jealousy she was facing. This wasn't an angry husband trying to reclaim her. This was something she had never encountered before. Indifference. She didn't know it yet, but her days of comfort were numbered. And when the final blow came, she wouldn't be ready for it. She thought she had control. She thought she had me wrapped around her finger. But what she didn't realize was this. I wasn't her safety net anymore. And very soon, she would fall. The unraveling began sooner than I expected. It started with little things. Small inconveniences. Subtle shifts she couldn't quite put her finger on. The first real crack in her world appeared 5 days after she sat me down and told me, sweetly, that she needed a lover. I was sitting on the couch, casually scrolling through my phone when I heard her voice from the kitchen. "Hey, did you cancel the cleaning service?" I didn't look up. "Yeah." Silence. Then, "Why?" This time, I did look up. I tilted my head, as if I didn't understand the question. "We don't need it," I said simply. "You're home most of the time. You can handle it." Her eyebrows furrowed, like she was processing something unfamiliar. She opened her mouth, probably to argue, but then stopped. She didn't push back. Not yet. Because she still thought this was temporary. That was her first mistake. The next day, she came back from one of her usual shopping trips, tossing a few bags onto the kitchen counter as she pulled out her phone. That was when I heard it. The unmistakable sound of a declined transaction. Her fingers hovered over her screen. She frowned. I took a sip of my coffee, waiting. A few seconds later, she turned toward me. "Hey," she said, forcing a casual tone. "There's something wrong with my credit card. Did the bank flag it or something?" I shrugged. "No, I just lowered the limit." She blinked. "What?" "I adjusted the spending," I said, not bothering to sugarcoat it. "We don't need to waste money on unnecessary things." She stared at me. I could almost see her mind scrambling to make sense of what was happening. She had expected anger when she told me about her need for another man. Instead, I was treating her like an employee who needed her privileges revoked. "You're joking," she said, a nervous laugh in her voice. "I'm not," I said simply. And then I turned back to my coffee, like she wasn't even worth further explanation. That was the second crack. The shift was settling into her now. She didn't complain outright, not at first. She was too smart for that. She knew how to test the waters, to see how much control she still had. That night, she made dinner, for the first time in months. That was how I knew she was worried. She set the plates down, giving me a soft smile. "I thought I'd cook tonight," she said, as if it were a casual, normal thing. I met her gaze, knowing exactly what she was doing. Testing. Watching. "Looks good," I said. And then I ate. I didn't shower her with gratitude. Didn't say, "Wow, this is amazing, honey," because this was the bare minimum. And I wasn't rewarding her for it. I could feel her unease across the table. She was used to me chasing. She had built her world around the idea that no matter how she treated me, I would always be there, desperate to make things work. Now, I was something else entirely. I was indifferent. And that scared her. The first real reaction came a week later. I had just come home from work when she approached me, her tone soft. Too soft. "Hey," she murmured, reaching for my hand. "I feel like we've been off lately." I let her touch me, but I didn't grip her back. "Do we?" I said, voice neutral. Her lips parted slightly, as if she didn't know what to do with that answer. I could see the conflict in her eyes. She wanted to test her power, to see if I was still someone who could be played with, manipulated. But something in my expression must have warned her against it. So she pivoted. "I miss us," she whispered, tilting her head slightly in that way she always did when she wanted to soften me. "I don't want to lose what we have." I smiled. "A small, cold thing. You don't want to lose me," I said. "But you need a lover." The color drained from her face. She tried to recover. "That's not what I meant." "That's exactly what you meant." Her mouth shut. For the first time, she was the one scrambling for words. I let the silence stretch between us, watching as she swallowed hard. And then I moved past her. Just like that. No anger. No argument. Because she wasn't worth it. She turned to watch me go, and I knew in that moment. She was afraid. Not of me. Of what she was losing. Of what she had already lost. She just hadn't realized it yet. By the end of the second week, the cracks had turned into full fractures. She was frustrated now. The luxury she had taken for granted, the financial security, the comfort of knowing I would always be there, was slipping through her fingers. I watched as she tried to cling to routine, still going out with her friends, still acting like she was the same woman who had everything in her grasp. But she was off balance. Because this was her nightmare. She had thought I would fight for her. She had thought she would see anger, jealousy, emotion. Instead, I had given her nothing. And nothing was the one thing she didn't know how to handle. I let her sink in it. Let her wonder. Let her feel it. And when the final blow came, she wouldn't be ready. It took exactly 3 weeks. 3 weeks for the reality of her new life to sink in. 3 weeks for the fear to set in. At first, she tried to pretend everything was fine. She kept up appearances, plastered on that same effortless smile when she met with her friends, posted pictures of fancy dinners on social media, continued playing the role of a woman who had everything. But I saw through it. Because she wasn't sleeping well. Because her spending had changed. Because every time she glanced at me, there was a flicker of something in her eyes, uncertainty. She was waiting for me to break. For me to crack and beg for things to go back to normal. She still thought this was a phase. She thought she could play the waiting game. That was her second mistake. Because I wasn't waiting. I was watching her world burn. And I was enjoying it. The first real moment of weakness came on a Friday night. I had just gotten home from work when she approached me, hesitant. "Hey," she said softly. She had dolled herself up again, a hairstyled, perfume lingering in the air, wearing a dress I hadn't seen in a long time. She was trying to reset the dynamic. Trying to see if there was still something left to manipulate. Do you want to go out tonight? She asked, her voice light, too light. I didn't respond right away. I just let the question hang between us. Then, I tilted my head slightly. Go out. She smiled, relieved, thinking she had won something. Yeah, maybe grab dinner? Have a date night? I set my keys down, watching her. Why? She blinked. What do you mean? Why? I said slowly. Why would we go out? What are we celebrating? Her lips parted slightly, but no words came out. And that's when I saw it. The crack. It was small, but it was there, the momentary flash of panic in her eyes, the way her body stiffened. She hadn't expected that answer. Because for the first time, I was making her work for it. And she had no idea how. Well, we haven't really spent much time together lately, she tried. I nodded. Yeah, wonder why that is. Her face flushed. Come on, don't be like that. I smiled, a slow, cold thing. Like what? She exhaled sharply. Distant. Cold. I shrugged, feigning indifference. Guess I'm just following your lead, sweetheart. She flinched. And then I walked away. The next morning, I woke up to find her sitting at the kitchen table. She was staring at her laptop, her face pale, her lips pressed into a tight line. I already knew. I had been waiting for this moment. Her credit line was gone. Her access to our joint accounts? Frozen. Her financial safety net? Vanished. She looked up as I walked into the kitchen. Her voice was tight. Did you do something to the accounts? I didn't answer right away. I poured myself a cup of coffee, taking my time. Then, I met her eyes. Yeah. Her nostrils flared slightly. And you didn't think to discuss that with me? I sipped my coffee. No. Her fingers curled into fists. Why? I exhaled, shaking my head slightly. Come on. You're an independent woman, right? You don't need me controlling your finances. Silence. Heavy. Loaded. She was realizing it now. Really realizing it. She had spent years leaning on me. Spending my money. Living in a house I paid for. Driving a car I maintained. Wearing clothes and jewelry I provided. She had told me she needed a lover. But now? She was starting to understand that what she really needed was me. And she had lost me. She swallowed hard, trying to keep her voice even. So, what? You're just going to punish me like this? I leaned against the counter, watching her. Punish you? I repeated, amused. No, sweetheart. I'm just treating you the way you wanted to be treated. Like we're not a team. She shook her head, laughing bitterly. This is insane. I set my cup down. You're right, I said. It is insane. What's insane is how you expected to keep living off me while you had another man on the side. She stiffened. I never said that. I smiled. You didn't have to. For the first time, she was speechless. Because she couldn't argue. She knew. She had done this. She had built this fate for herself. And now she had to live in it. She spent the next few days pretending she wasn't affected. She still went out with her friends. Still acted like nothing had changed. But I saw it. The tension in her shoulders. The way she hesitated before pulling out her credit card, knowing she was limited now. She was counting numbers in her head. For the first time in years, she was thinking about money. She tried to book a spa appointment. Her card declined. She tried to order takeout. Her card declined. Each time, she tried to laugh it off, but I could see it, the creeping, slow panic behind her eyes. She had never had to struggle before, because I had made sure she never had to. And now? She was realizing just how much she had lost. By the end of the month, she cracked. I came home late that night. She was waiting for me. Sitting on the couch, no makeup, no jewelry, wearing nothing but an oversized sweater. For the first time in a long time, she looked small. You're home late, she said softly. I shrugged, setting my briefcase down. Had things to do. She nodded, chewing on her bottom lip. Then, after a long pause, can we talk? I sighed. About what? She hesitated. And then, finally, about us. I almost laughed. Us. She had destroyed us the moment she looked me in the eye and told me I wasn't enough. Still, I tilted my head, feigning curiosity. Oh, what about us? She exhaled shakily, rubbing her hands together. I don't like how things have been lately. I miss how we used to be. I said nothing. She bit her lip, her eyes pleading now. I miss you. I stared at her. And in that moment, I realized something. She didn't miss me. She missed the life I gave her. She missed the comfort. She missed the security. She missed the version of me that took care of everything while she took me for granted. But that version of me? He was dead. I leaned down, resting my hands on the back of the couch, meeting her eyes. "You miss me?" I murmured. She nodded quickly. "Yes." "You love me," I said. Her breath hitched. "Yes." I smiled. Then I leaned closer, my voice just above a whisper. "Then why," I asked, "did you need a lover?" Her breath caught in her throat. And for the first time, she had no answer. Because there wasn't one. Because she had lost. And she knew it. She had no answer. She sat there, frozen, her lips parted as if she wanted to say something, anything that would fix this. But there was nothing left to say. I watched her struggle in the silence, her eyes darting between mine, searching for some trace of the man she used to control. But that man was gone. The woman who had once sat across from me at dinner, smiling sweetly as she shattered my dignity with a whisper, "I love you, but I need a lover," was now reaping exactly what she had sown. And the best part? I hadn't even lifted a finger. She did this. She chose this. And now she had to live with it. She swallowed hard, forcing a deep breath. "Look. I know I hurt you," she said carefully, testing the waters. I stayed silent. Her fingers fidgeted in her lap. "That wasn't my intention," she continued, softening her tone, like she thought this was just another marital argument. I don't know. I got caught up in my own head. I didn't think about how it would make you feel." I almost laughed. Didn't think about how it would make me feel? I had given this woman everything. A home. Stability. Security. She had never had to worry about a thing because I had always made sure she didn't have to. And in return, she had looked me in the eye and told me I wasn't enough. I set my glass down with a slow, deliberate motion, locking eyes with her. "You didn't think about how it would make me feel?" I repeated. She nodded quickly. "Yes. And I know that was selfish. I just—" She hesitated, then sighed, shoulders dropping. "I love you. I never stopped loving you. I just made a mistake." That word. Mistake. Like this was accidental. Like she had tripped and fallen onto another man's lap. I exhaled, shaking my head. "No," I said. "A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk at the store. This was a choice." Her jaw tensed. "I know. But I want to fix it." I smiled. A slow, cold smile that sent the first flicker of fear across her face. "You don't get to fix this," I murmured. "This isn't a broken plate you can glue back together. This isn't an argument that ends with an apology and a kiss. This is your life now." Her breath hitched. "What do you mean?" I leaned forward, resting my elbows on my knees. "I mean, you made a decision, and I'm just letting you live with it." Her hands clenched into fists. "So what? You're just going to punish me forever?" I tilted my head. "Punish you?" I repeated, amused. "Sweetheart, I haven't done anything to you." She flinched at the word. Sweetheart. It used to mean something. Now? It was a knife wrapped in silk. I continued, "I didn't cheat on you. I didn't betray you. I didn't end our marriage. You did. All I did was step back and let you experience life without me." Her breath shook as she exhaled. "I don't want that," she whispered. I stared at her, unblinking. And there it was. The truth. The final admission she had been trying to avoid. She didn't miss me. She missed the life I gave her. She missed the comfort. She missed being taken care of. She thought she could have me and someone else, all while living in the castle I had built for her. But now the walls were gone. The roof was collapsing. And she was standing in the ruins, looking for a way out. I stood up. She blinked, caught off guard. "Where are you going?" I grabbed my keys. "Out." Her lips parted slightly. "Out where?" I smirked. "Wherever I want." She hated that answer. Because she wasn't used to being the one left behind. I had chased her for years. I had been the safe option. The constant. Now? She was just another face in my past. Her voice wavered. "So that's it." I glanced at her. "What else is there?" She looked like she wanted to argue. To fight. To make me prove that I still cared. But I didn't. And she knew it. She felt it. The last thread of control she had over me had snapped. And she had nothing left. I walked toward the door. I could feel her watching me, her breathing uneven, her mind racing. And then, just as my fingers wrapped around the doorknob, her voice cracked. "Wait." I didn't stop. Not until she said the words I had been waiting for. "Please don't go." I paused, turned slightly, just enough to see the way her hands trembled at her sides. Her pride was gone. Her arrogance had shattered. And now, all that was left was desperation. For the first time, she was the one begging. I let the silence stretch. Let her sit in it. Then, finally, I spoke, calmly, emotionless. "I already left, sweetheart. and then I walked out the door. For good.
Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.